Okay, so this is not really a video that I was expecting to make, but it is one that I feel obligated to considering my history with TDS's lore. I just have to come out and say it. They cooked. TDS's null and void update may have been questionable when it comes to the balancing side of things, but in terms of lore, it's been insane. They've explained a lot and cleared up a lot about the lore to the point where I think it is in a pretty good spot. I don't want to spend too much time on it, talking about it right now, but I just wanted to do just a general overview and my thoughts on it, because I do think that they have cleaned up the lore very nicely. The new lore writer that they have for this game indeed cooked. They did a very good job. Obviously, there's still some things that are just kind of weird and do not make sense, but I feel like it's a lot more manageable now, to the point where I think the average person can understand the lore of the game and it is pretty cohesive. So let's just jump into that. So essentially, this event serves as a proper introduction to Lord Exo, and not just an introduction, but one where it shows us exactly how dangerous he is. It's not just, oh guys, he has a god cube, he did some evil, scary things. Oh, no, we actually get to see exactly what makes him so threatening. We also get a proper introduction to the children of Exo, actually seeing their personalities besides them just being buff dudes, and we even get an origin story for them. They were once part of the Tricker Threat Town, and after the TDS organization pulled out, they became just kind of abandoned and left behind, and they were very angry for that, and so they decided to join Lord Exo. That's actually a pretty good backstory for them. It explains why they're doing what they're doing. Even if it is a weird reason, it is still obviously a valid reason, and it explains how they got into contact with Lord Exo. The only thing that's weird about that is, if we go up the chain of command, Tricker Threat was attacked by Lord Sinister, who was sent by the Umbra, and Umbra got her power from the God Cube, which came from Lord Exo, so that's kind of weird. I don't think they would know that, though. I think that's just sort of showing that Lord Exo has been pulling the strings here the whole time, and in the end, his plan was to betray them anyways, as he takes Cronus's body and becomes fully in this reality again. Overall, I think Lord Exo is a pretty cool, albeit simple villain. He doesn't need to be all that complex. I feel like that's what the children of Exo are meant to be. Exo himself is just kind of an evil bad guy who wants to return the world to how he wants things. And that's okay. He serves his purpose well, and he is threatening in everything that we've seen. He kidnaps the dispatcher, who we learn her name is Jane, and overall, I think this event does a good job of fleshing out some of the towers and giving them personalities, even if it does feel a bit shoehorned in at the end, where it's like, oh, an enemy comes, and they say what the normal tower's personality trait is. I get that narrator called this out as a joke, but just because you call out a trope doesn't mean that you're still liable for using it. I feel like there are more natural ways of explaining a character's personality than just doing that, but whatever. It's not that big of a deal. I am pretty sure that they're going to have the dispatcher thing be part of a re-rate for hardcore. I've seen a lot of people, and including myself, I believe that they're going to have dispatcher become reincarnated as the Void Caster, as to give sort of Commander some sort of tragedy or tragic backstory sort of thing. Because, you know, the narrator loves tragedies. He loves drama. He says this in part 2, so I feel like that is something that he would definitely do. Really, the only complaints that I have is the narrator's voice is annoying, but I think that's intentional, and the fact that the pacing just feels a little too fast. Chapter 2, the only thing of importance that happens is we meet the narrator who has been in the Nil Zone, and that's really it. In Chapter 2, it feels like the Null Guardian, who is a guy who's working for Lord Exo, he's trying to kill the narrator, even though Lord Exo needs the narrator in the third part for his plan to be fulfilled. There's something weird going on here, where it feels like in part 2 they were setting up for the narrator to actually be a good guy, but then in part 3 they immediately have him have a heel face turn. That's not really Act 3's fault, that's Act 2's fault for making the Null Guardian a useless, pathetic, nothing burger enemy. But other than that, there's really not much else bad to say. Like, it was good. It was very solid. There's a good setup for the future that they have going here. In terms of theories, I feel like for the winter event, they're going to have the Children of Exo begrudgingly team up with the TDS organization, and they are going to unleash Frost Spirit. Sorry. They're going to unleash Frost Spirit to kill or try and kill Lord Exo. And in the end, they might be somewhat successful, but I feel like he is going to turn Dispatcher into Voidcaster as a setup for the hardcore rework. Why do I think this? Because Frost Spirit did not die at the end of Operation Ice. He was sucked into a little purple portal. Go look at his death animation again. Frost Spirit is not dead. So yeah, that's really all I got. Pretty short video, but I just wanted to give this the accolades that it deserves. Balancing wise, that's a whole different story. I think the balancing sucked. But story-wise, this was very good. TDS, please keep cooking, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.